full unleaded. Yes, ma'am. I know. They told me this morning you was almost out, so I got you. Appreciate it. All right, so first things first, we already got our video. What up, people? Welcome back to the channel, man. If you are still here with me, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I just got to throw that in there. I'm trying to grow my channel. But today, we are not doing a reaction video because we are going back to what made me, made me here anyway. What put me here? We are going to do a reaction video to my own video of me tanking. We're going to do a little different day because even though I am now only doing reaction videos, and I'm gonna tell you guys the reason why that is, because the employee that I am with now does not allow me to do trucking content of any kind. They do not want me doing any new content. They are aware of the old content. So I will react to the old content and let you guys know how things have changed since I've started tanking, being a fuel hauler, right? So I started this fuel hauling journey over a year and a half ago now, almost 2 years. At the time, this was about 9 months ago. At the time, I had only been doing it maybe like 6 months and some change. And some things in this video, I noticed that I did incorrect, or I could have did better, not necessarily incorrect. And I want to tell you guys how things have changed. We're also going to go through your questions that was in this video, because this is like my most watched video. It's full of questions. We're going to go through some of the typical questions, and I'm going to answer them for you guys, let you guys know how fuel hauling is in the year of 2024. All right, so let's go. So we got all right, so in this video, right, it was, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the very first thing I did was grab the guns, right? And really, realistically, the first thing I should have did was grab the cones. If you go back and rewind it, you will see that I grabbed the cones after I grabbed the gun. Just from a workflow perspective, it just worked faster the way my trailer is designed when I was working for this company. However, you are supposed to put those cones out first for safety, all right? So that's one thing. When you saw me go into the store to get the Vita root, the things that have changed for the new company that I'm with, because now I'm noticing that every company has their own SOPs and standard operating procedures, right? You do not necessarily have to go get that Vita reading if you know the store that you are going to. Also, and if you know the size of the tank, if you know the store you're going to, size of the tank, usually you could stick it and know whether your load will fit, right? For instance, we have a store that's a 20,000 gallon tank. If I stick it, if it reads 53, I know it can take a full load. 53 inches, I know it can fit a full load unleaded. And then we got our fuel, right? So we got the caps off. We're gonna go ahead and measure it and make sure that the readings match. All right, this truck is not really the ideal truck that I normally use. It doesn't have all the necessary tools that I'm used to using, but we're gonna make it work. All right. What I like to do is measure first. To make sure before I even finish hooking it up, that my load will fit. And we are at 11. I don't know if you guys can see that. We are at 11 inches. They don't have much. So now I'm gonna take out my Vita reading that I just got from the clerk. All right, so one thing that I also do different now that I have a little bit more experience is to make sure that reading is more accurate. Now, not every company require this. Some do, some don't. Some require you just to put the cones out, then stick. But you want to put that vapor recovery down first, all right? And the reason why is because you're not getting a 100% accurate reading without those vapors exiting that tank. There's so much pressure. It's gonna read, all those vapors gonna make the stick reading higher than what it actually is, all right? So that could be the difference of your load fitting by a couple of hundreds or not. And I've had it happen to where it barely fit. It barely fit down to the point where it was the last 10 gallons going in and the alarm went off, all right? So that's the difference here in that one. This was definitely a company SOP, not necessarily mine. This is just something that I learned that made it a lot easier on the way with a little experience under my belt now. Stand up. And so let's go on. All right, so let's get straight into what should have got done different when I was dropping this, when I first started dropping this. All right, so when the first thing you saw me do was hook up my vapor to my truck and then place it into the ground, to the actual vapor connection on the ground to the tank, correct? Right? What should have happened was after I laid my cones down, I should have put I should have hooked up the vapor to the truck, to the trailer, and then placed my vapor recovery connection down to the tank, and then I should have stuck the tank to get the reading. All right, so let me explain this reading. All right, so I did not explain this fully and clearly whenever I first got, I was doing this vlog. I was still a little nervous. I was first new to YouTube and all this good stuff, right? So if you look at the first one, tank one, it's a regular 20K tank, right? The 90% ullage is how many gallons that has until it is used up. Meaning when that thing gets down to like zero, the alarm's going off. That doesn't mean it's at 100%. That means it's used at 90%. And usually they don't want you to go over 90%, right? It's letting you know right away, right? So if you look at it, it's a 20,000 tank. The volume is 1385, right? The ullage 18318, right? If you add that up, right, that equals the 20K. Now, what it's telling you here is the 90% ullage is the 16347. So I have a lot of room to fit into that tank. I hope I'm explaining that better now. Right? That means there's only a 1,385 in that ground right now. I have free 18,318 gallons that I could put down there at 100%. But they don't want us to go over 90, so they let us know. At 90%, you got 16,347 before that alarm goes off, right? The height, I stuck at 11. The height was at 14, and I'm going to chalk it up to basically I didn't put that vapor down before I measured. Rookie move, and you didn't let those vapors settle, so the stick reading was inaccurate. All right, so let's talk about me unloading, right? Let's talk about when packing up. Let's talk about the proper steps that I did not take in this video, all right? So in this video, rookie moves again, all right? So as you can see, when I have my hair, the first thing I did correct was I drained the hose, meaning I left, once I saw there was no more, you saw me walk it down, pull the lever, walk it down again, cool. The very next thing I did was pick up that vapor hose. Let me see if I can pinpoint to it whenever I did it. All right, it's gonna be, let's see. Come on, let's come right there. All right, so right there, you see that I picked up that vapor right away. And we already know what the vapor does. We already know it's gonna actually give you an accurate reading. And it also, it's going to collect those vapors to prevent a fire from happening. Someone walks by, lights a cigarette, lights anything, and fire sparks. Those vapors can be more dangerous than the actual fuel itself sometimes. All right. So what I should have done was after I walked it down and I put the hose in the gun away from my fuel, I should have closed my actual lines and my vapor lines while my vapor is still connected. Right, so it can stay in the tank or it can stay in the actual my actual trailer, right? Then I should have measured that tank before I picked up my vapor hose, right? Once I would have picked up my vapor, stick my tank, Then I would have picked up my vapor hose for an accurate reading, and then it's also a lot safer now. That's pretty much what happened through the second one as well, through the second load as well. So I don't want to make this video too long, but what I want to do is get into some of the questions that you guys asked on here, and I want to answer them really quick. I want to make it quick as possible because I don't want to make this video too long for you guys. All right, let's see some questions. All right, let's see. Someone even said, "How do you vent the tank?" I didn't even pick up on that. All right, look. Whenever I first drop, there's always going to be you have multiple vent hoses for the actual vapors themselves, right? When the one I connected to on that first load that I did with that we just reviewed, there's another one on that trailer that I should have opened. And what that does, that vents the tank. That stops for implosions. That stops. That also helps the flow of the tank so it can empty faster. So that's correct. The person who actually said something here, they might be a fuel hauler because only a fuel hauler probably would know that. To vent the tank, or they do some type of tanking or some type of kind of chemicals or something like that. 100% correct. I should have opened that up. All right. Are the trucks manual transmission or automatic? I was working for Coastal at the time. It was automatic. All right. Weekly pay. All right. I was working for Coastal at the time. Weekly pay was anywhere from 13 to 1600 a week. Depends on how hard you go, and they're gonna work you. All right. Um, It says, "Hey bro, hopefully you respond for each load. Do you have to load your trailer each time?" You have to load your trailer every single time. For the most part, sometimes you might get lucky and that give you a preloaded trailer, which you don't really want that. You ain't really making no money off of that anyway. All right. All right. And it says, "How do you know what tank you are filling with premiums, unleaded, and diesel?" All right. So I did not show that. But if you see here, you see a little fuel cone. Let's just do it simple. Most most gas stations have them marked. Premium is always red. The the diesel cone right here, we have yellow. We mark it with diesel. Diesel is usually a green cap or a bright yellow cap. And then the unleaded is usually white and it has like an unleaded sign on there. Right? They do have an EO that says like unleaded without the ethanol in it. Um, that usually has a plus sign or some kind of special sign on it. I don't do that too much with who I work for, but they are definitely color coded. Premiums usually red, diesel green, white. All right. Let's see what else. Tanking is definitely still. I'm currently getting my tankers and hazmat over 2 years of experience. Shouldn't be hard to get on. Fuel hauling is definitely saturated right now. During the pandemic, everybody figured out if I want to make the same amount of money but be home, going to tanking and tanking in general, not even just fuel hauling, saturated. All right. Work schedule. My work schedule is much better now. When I was working for Coastal, I was working from like 5 to like 7 p.m. every day. They gonna work you. All right. Now if I go in at 5, I mean some days it's very rare that I work a full like 14. Um, Now it's usually like if I go in at 5, I'm probably off by like 5. All right. Lately it's been busy. It's busy season right now for tanking, so I've been doing a lot of 12-hour days. But for the most part, 12-hour days. All right. Salary. All right. So depends on the company. I can't explain about salary because it depends on the company. Um, some companies pay by the hour. Some company pay by the load. I would just suggest is if you can get on by the hour as a new fuel hauler, get on by the hour. If you can't, I would go get paid by the load, get my experience, then try to go somewhere by the hour until which I probably need to do a video about this until you get some experience and you can go to a company that pays you a lot of money, like a high percentage per load by the load, right? For instance, I know someone who works for Loves. They're averaging about 18 a week, right? Because they pay by the hour. They don't stress about getting loads done. But I know someone who gets paid by the load and they making about 3, 4 grand a week. But you got to have like 4 years experience to get on with the company that he's with the company he's with, because they pay a higher percentage, right? But they take a lot of risk loads, all right? And they work they butt off. They're working like 14-hour days every day until their clock run out. All right. So let's see what else. But if you're still here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, man. I thank y'all for supporting me. The trucking family is what got me pretty much monetized on YouTube, to put me here on the map. I started doing reaction videos and other things because I can no longer make that type of content. Um, but if you have questions, man, go ahead and shoot me in one of these videos. Um, if you want to show me some support just by subscribing, you don't have to watch the actual videos themselves, but just go ahead and show your boy some love with a fellow trucker. If you're into video games, you can go to my gaming channel, Hyper Unk. Starting to put some content on there. So thank you guys. If you have any more questions, go ahead and let me know in the comment sections. I'll see y'all next time.